So. And then you can. But I want to give you a section. Right. Yeah. I don't get it. Fortunately, because from the end, I thought that wasn't basically looking. Yeah, they're. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to whether it's
All right, good morning. All right, time is now 8:32, so let's go ahead and get started. Good morning and welcome to the KCERA End of Career Seminar. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dominic Brown, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Chief Executive Officer of KCERA. So it's nice to see some familiar faces out in the audience. And welcome, it's good to have you here. So I know some of you are probably maybe days and weeks away from retirement. Congratulations. Some of you are more like months and years, but either way, you're getting close. So congratulations on that. You have worked for the county long enough to be close to earning a pension, and that is wonderful. That is what we are going to take care of for you for the rest of your life. And that is a very, very good thing to have, to be the beneficiary and to have earned a lifetime pension. So if you looked at the agenda this morning, you know that we have brought together several speakers that will educate you on a number of rather complicated benefits that you have earned over the course of your career. Deferred compensation, as well as KCERA. We'll have a brief presentation about REOKC, and you may join their membership as well. Health benefits, as well as Social Security. So there's a lot of different elements that are part of your benefit package, and we're going to walk you through all of the particulars. Our staff here at KCERA is wonderful. There's a bunch at the back table. Corey's going to do the majority of the presentation this morning. They are highly knowledgeable and skilled in your very complicated benefits, and they're going to walk you through all of the particulars. But if you have any follow-up questions that are perhaps a little bit more individual to your particular circumstance, you can talk with them after this presentation or set up an appointment to come down to our office and meet with our staff individually, or we can do that virtually, or just give us a call. We would be more than happy to walk you through your options and make sure you understand the future that you have in front of you. So with that, I'm going to hand things over to Corey. She's been with our office many years and has helped, hundreds of people retire already in her career. So yeah, she's going to walk you through everything. Thank you very much for being here. Glad to have you.
All right, good morning and welcome. You've finally made it, right? Is that what it feels like? Light at the end of the tunnel. My tunnel's very dark right now, unfortunately. Yours hopefully is not. So like Dominic was saying, you guys all have the schedule, so you'll kind of see how it's going to go today. Also in your packet, you do have a notes page that you guys can take notes on. Obviously, this is for you to keep. We do have extras back there. So if you guys fill up this one, please don't hesitate to come back to the back table back there. Let us know. We will definitely get you more of those. Also in there, you have a evaluation form. We would really appreciate if you guys could fill this out. When you do go to leave today, we will collect this form from you. And then what we will do is we'll collect this form from you, and then you guys will get a confirmation letter from us. So we'll take this form, we'll hand you a confirmation letter, and that confirmation letter is what you'll give to your department to get paid for today. So if you guys have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to let us know. Like Dominic said, there's a few of us here from KCERA. So if you have any questions about your retirement, don't hesitate to ask us. And then, so the first presenter is going to be Crystal Jackson. She's going to talk about retired employees of Kern County.
Good morning, everybody. As my coworker Corey introduced me, my name is Crystal Jackson. I am a senior member services analyst at KCERA, but today I'm actually going to be speaking on behalf of REOKC. So, what is REOKC? Retired Employees of Kern County. It's a nonprofit organization that was established in 1964. I like to think of it as kind of similar to the union for county workers. They do a good job of representing you as retirees to make sure that you're represented in decisions that are made for active members as well. They advocate the safeguarding and continuation of retiree pensions and health benefits. They provide avenues of support and information for retirees and survivors. And they ensure proper representation on the KCERA board. So the current president of REOKC, Rob Sibley, is on our board, on the retirement board, as well as one of their directors, Phil Franey. Membership. There's approximately over 5,000 retired members and survivors that are a part of REOKC. You will get this benefit packet distributed to you when we receive your retirement application. So if you decide to mail it in, if you've moved somewhere that's not close to us anymore, you'll get this in the mail to you. If you come into the office, have a counseling and submit your retirement application that way, they'll give it to you then. But if you do not receive one, please feel free to give us a call and we can either mail it to you or you can come by and pick it up. In the packet, you will get the application form and a good little guide on the benefits that they have available. The membership is $2 per month, which is deducted from your KCERA pension. They also have a really cool thing that they attend, which I just attended a couple of weeks ago. So they have a monthly luncheon at Hodel's. And that is, if you choose to go to that and have it deducted out of your pension, it's $6 per month, but you can pay at the door for $1 more. That luncheon was really great to see. That was my first time getting to attend. I've been working here for 5 years, and that was the first time I got to attend and see everyone just getting along. There was a lot of just commingling. They have these raffles that you can buy into. They're little cash raffles, and it kind of reminded me of like lottery. So they do that every luncheon. They always have representatives from one of us. So when I went with our communications manager, Jeremy, And Voya will be there, and Strata is typically there to attend for any questions. And they typically have a speaker of the month. So when I attended, they had a local physician, and they spoke to the group about things to look out for their health, and advised things that they can talk to their physician about to extend their life to make sure that they're healthy. And you also get this trend newsletter, which is a really good informational packet that they do bi-monthly, and they will email it to you. I just wanted to print you guys out a copy, and it gives updates on what's going on with retirement and other good information like cybersecurity and presentations that they have. They have travel tips in here and good information like that. Benefits, though, is probably the biggest advantage for being a part of REOKC. They have these benefits that you can sign up for. They have dental, vision, accidental death and life insurance, travel, and miscellaneous ones. They have like ID, legal shield, hearing healthcare, and I think more recent, the pet plans, which I thought was really cool. And they also, which is not on the slide, I don't believe, but they have a good program for scholarships. So every year there is the opportunity for you to, if you have a child, a grandchild, a niece or a nephew that is going to be a senior in high school, they can apply for a scholarship with REOKC, and it's a $2,000 scholarship that they get towards their education. So the back of this trend letter, there's the 13 students that were awarded that $2,000. I think that's pretty cool. $2 a month. You have somebody that could potentially get $2,000. That's a really good deal. If you want to know more, sorry, my throat is getting dry. They have a really good website that has all of this information. They have the benefits guide that I was showing you in the packet. They have a brochure, and they're always available. If you have some questions, you can email them at their contact email, contact us at reokc.org. And that's it. Any questions? No, thank you so much.
All right, you get me again. So this portion is going to be about your retirement, the fun and exciting stuff, right? So of course, welcome. We're glad you're here. We're glad that you are finally able to retire. You've worked enough. Now it's time to enjoy it. So my name is Corey Rowland. I'm a Senior Member Services Analyst for KCERA. So the presentation topics that we're going to talk about today are purchases of service, reciprocity, retirement eligibility, your pension benefit, retirement allowance options, and we're also going to talk about beneficiary designations and your death benefit that you'll receive. Well, you won't receive, your beneficiaries will receive. Your benefit estimates, your divorce and your retirement, and then getting your ducks in a row. So what is KCERA? So we're Kern County Employees Retirement Association, or Kern County Retirement. KCERA is a defined benefit plan, not a defined contribution plan. So many of you probably have deferred comp as well. So deferred comp, or like a 401k, is going to be based off of your contributions that you've put into that plan. KCERA is going to be based off of other factors and not the money that you have paid into your into KCERA or into your contributions. So what we base your retirement off going to be your age at retirement, your years of service, your age of retirement, your years of service, your final average compensation, and then your tier, whatever tier you're in. Those are the factors that we go into when we determine your benefit, not the amount of money that you have in your contributions. So if you have $100 in your contributions, that doesn't matter to us. All those other factors are what we look at when we determine what your benefit's going to be. We are also a lifetime benefit. So you will never run out of money when you get a benefit from us. We will always pay you every single month. And potentially we will also pay a survivor for their lifetime as well. And we'll get into that and how that works as well. But there are those survivor benefits to potentially a spouse as well. So let's talk about purchase of service credit. So what that is you are able to purchase credit that'll go towards your service when you go to retire. So is anybody in here have extra help? That potentially, okay, perfect. Extra help. Possibly everybody has a waiting period, and I'll explain what a waiting period is. Maybe you had prior service that you refunded and then you came back to the county. We consider that a redeposit. And then maybe some medical leaves that you went without pay, that you didn't pay, a retirement contribution. Those are considered, or those are purchasable. So you are able to purchase those. It would only be your personal leave though. It only would be a leave for you, not a family member. So it'd have to be a leave for you. And then potentially layoffs as well. You'd have to contact our office for a layoff. If you had a layoff, you'd want to contact our office and we'd give you details on those to see if that's eligible for a purchase. So how it works is if you purchase any of those, so obviously extra help, is any period where you were not contributing, you were an extra help member, you can purchase that time, and that time is going to go towards your vesting, which all of you are already vested because you're here getting ready to retire. But that can go towards your service so that when you go to retire, your benefit potentially is going to be higher because you're adding retirement service credit to your years of service. Your waiting period. So when you first started with a county, that first paycheck that you received or that first biweekly that you worked, you did not pay a retirement contribution for that first paycheck. You are eligible to purchase that. So it would only be one pay period, but sometimes one pay period is all you need to be eligible to retire, right? So that might benefit you. So if it's something you want to look into, you're more than welcome to do that. We have on our member portal, hopefully all of you have a member portal. You can go onto your member portal and run an estimate to see how much that's going to cost you to purchase your extra help, potentially your waiting period, all of those things. And it'll also tell you if it's a benefit for you at your retirement as well. So a redeposit, so prior service that you might have refunded, and then now you're back with the county, you can purchase that prior service that you refunded. So, and that might be 5 or 6 years that you could have refunded. So you are eligible to purchase that. I will tell you that sometimes those can be expensive, because depending on when you refunded that money, you've got to think that there's going to be interest added for every year since you refunded that money, and that is added on. So that can be pretty expensive, but it may also be a benefit if you're needing those years to be able to retire, or it may be a huge benefit by increasing your benefit to retire. Medical leaves. If you were on a leave that you did not receive retirement service credit, you were not getting paid during that leave, those might be eligible to be purchased. So again, you can go on your member portal and you can run an estimate for that and see what that's going to cost you. Again, that's just adding service to when you didn't receive service. Yes.
Would stress leave count? Because I once took stress leave about 6 years ago and I collected disability during that time. Does that count?
So she's asking about a leave where she was collecting disability. So did you, were you receiving a paycheck from the county during that time?
So, no, 'cause I ended up on disability because
Okay, so then more than likely that would be something to where you would be eligible to purchase that because you were not receiving retirement service credit at that time. And it was a leave that was for yourself. As long as it's an illness for yourself, then yes, that would be purchasable. So you can go on your portal and you'll be able to run that estimate for that purchase and it'll be able to tell you, or you can give our office a call and we can let you know if you have time that you can purchase and everything like that. So definitely give us a call and we can help you with that. And then again, like I said, with layoffs, you'd want to give us a call if you've had a layoff. So all of those purchases that you were to do, it counts towards your vesting and your retirement eligibility. So that would go, again, you guys are all vested, but again, it would go if you were a year away from being eligible to retire, then that would give you that eligibility to be able to retire. These are prior public service retirements. So these are a little bit different. These would be if, let's say, you worked for the state of California or you worked for a public agency in the state of California, the federal government, maybe the active military. You can purchase that time as well. It is expensive because, again, you're probably going back maybe 15, 20 years and you're going to have to pay all that interest. But this does not count towards your vesting or your retirement eligibility. This is just going to go towards your benefit when you go to retire. So this will not count towards when you'll actually be eligible to collect your retirement. But when we go to calculate your benefit, we are going to add that service in to calculate your benefit to see how much you're going to get a month. Please know that the longer you wait to make any of these purchases, the higher the amount is going to be. If you are planning to retire very soon and you know that you have, or you think that you have a purchase that you want to do, I would purchase that right away. Because again, you need to give us time to calculate that purchase. And then depending on how you're going to pay for that purchase, it could take some time. So on our website, we do have information about purchases that you can go on. If you have any questions, of course, you can go onto our website and there'll be information about purchases. You can run estimates in your member portal. You can, and then what you would want to do is you'd want to submit an official request to our office. And we have that form online as well. And then you would also want to advise if you're going to be retiring 6 months or less. Because we would want to work that or try to work that as soon as possible. But I can tell you that if you're like a month out from retirement, more than likely, unfortunately, we are probably not going to be able to calculate that purchase for you because there's just not enough time to get that purchase calculated. So the sooner you do it, the better. So let's talk about reciprocity. Reciprocity, it's a big word. I didn't know how to say it when I first started. So what reciprocity is it's a link between most California governmental agencies. So if you worked for, let's say, LA County or Fresno County, one of the other counties, or even CalSTRS, you're able to link your two retirements together as long as you did not refund from that other agency, as long as you kept your funds on deposit with them. And there was no more than 6 months between the two agencies. So let's say you left LA County and within 6 months you started working for the county or one of our agencies within KCERA. You can link those two retirements together. And then what that's going to do is it potentially is going to vest you right away, depending on how many years of service you had with the other agency, or vice versa. You can leave KCERA and go to one of the other agencies. You can go to Fresno County, or you can go to LA County and already be vested with them because you're vested here at KCERA. So you take your years of service with you, but you leave your funds with KCERA, but you kind of take your years of service with you, and you become vested with them right away. And then what happens is once you go to retire, we're going to coordinate with them and we're going to use the highest salary. So if that county has the highest salary, we're going to use their salary to determine what your benefit is with KCERA, and vice versa. If KCERA has the higher salary, they're going to use our salary to determine your benefit with them. So you're still going to get two benefits. You're going to get two separate retirements. You're going to get a retirement from KCERA and you're going to get a retirement from LA County or wherever you came from. You're going to get two retirements, but we're going to use whoever salary is the highest. So there is a benefit to reciprocity. So let's say you leave here and you only go and work a year somewhere, but that 1 year has a higher salary. You might get a really small benefit from that other agency, but we're going to use their higher salary here at KCERA to determine your benefit where you have, let's say, 25 years with us. So there are some great things about reciprocity. Just know that once you establish reciprocity, you cannot break reciprocity. So you would not be able to withdraw your contributions once you establish that reciprocity. And you do have to retire on the same day. So if you do not retire on the same day with both agencies, then you are breaking reciprocity and we will not be able to, share salaries and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. If you think that you may have reciprocity or that you may be eligible to establish reciprocity, don't hesitate to give us a call, and we can help you or figure out if it's one of the agencies that we share that link with, and we can definitely let you know and then maybe even get that established for you. Yes.
So I went online to look because I established reciprocity over 15 years ago when I first started the county, and with CalPERS. And so it shows on both KCERA's website under my account and under my account with CalPERS that reciprocity has been established. Do I have to provide any proof, any other proof of that? Okay, they said they sent me a letter, but that was 15 years ago. Do you also have to apply for retirement with that other agency? That's not something KCERA does for you. You have to do that on your own.
Yes. So her question is, she had reciprocity. She established what we call incoming reciprocity from CalPERS when she came 15 years ago. And so she just wanted to verify that she doesn't have to establish again or verify that it's still there. And no, it's in our system. She can see that it's in our system. So no, you do not have to verify again or do anything additional at that point. Her next question was, does she have to apply when she retires? Does she have to apply with both systems? And yes, you do have to retire from both systems. So you'll want to submit an application with KCERA and you'll want to submit an application with CalPERS with the same exact retirement date. So you'll want to contact CalPERS and let them know, whenever you decide your retirement date, you'll want to let them know that information as well. At that point, once you submit your application with both systems, you don't have to do anything additional with both systems at that point, as we will then communicate with each other and do everything we need to do to verify everything else additional on that point. So you don't have to communicate between the two of us. So we will do that together, but just make sure that you submit that application to both systems. You're welcome. Yes. Okay, so his question is, what if the age of retirement is different for the two agencies? Give us a call. There is a way around that. So give us a call and we can go over that and talk about that. And we'll make sure that we do everything correctly for you, okay? Yes.
So the final salary from CalPERS, does it matter if that final salary was earned as a PEPRON member? Do you still use that number?
Yeah, so we will still use it. So even if you were a Pepper member, so Pepper member is 36 months of salary. So yes, we will still use that. That we will, depending on if you are a legacy member with us, so let's say you're a tier member with us, we will actually only take a year of that salary. So we will find the highest year within that salary, and that's what we will use. So we will not take the whole 36 months. Sorry. So her question was if she was a Pepper member over there. Pepper members are 36 months of salary. But if you are a legacy member with us and we use the highest 12 consecutive months, we will find the highest 12 consecutive months in those 36 months. And that's what we will use for your highest salary. We will not hinder you, I guess, in any way because you're now a Pepper member over there. So the biggest question we get calls every single day. When can I retire? I wish I could tell you today because I'd be at the door with you. So for general members with 10 years of service eligibility and a minimum age of 50, you are eligible to retire. Or you can have 30 years of service regardless of your age. Or you can be age 70 regardless of your years of service. So if you are age 70 and have 1 year of service, you are eligible to retire, but I can tell you that your benefit's going to be very small. For our safety members, it is 10 years of service, service eligibility, and a minimum age 50, or 20 years of service regardless of your age. So service credit, what service credit is earned service. So every paycheck you get, you pay a retirement contribution, you're earning retirement service credit. Reciprocity service credit, again, is going towards that eligibility. So if you came in with service, you probably came in already vested, and that went towards that eligibility to being able to retire. And then also purchased county service. So that extra help, your waiting period, redeposit time, anything like that, that is going to count towards that eligibility to be able to retire. The next biggest question we get, how is my benefit calculated? We just throw some numbers in and we just tell you that it's done. So most people here are probably tier 1 members, maybe some tier 2 members. But it's going to depend on what benefit or what tier you came in as. And then also your age at retirement is another thing. So keep in mind though, each quarter of a year, that age increase that you get is going to increase that percentage that you get of your final average salary. So if you're really close to the next quarter, it might be a benefit to stay. And we can always help you determine that if it is a benefit for you to stay just a little bit longer, I promise. Yeah. So your total years of retirement service credit, again, that's your earned service credit plus any purchases. And then if you retire in the middle of a pay period, just know that you do not receive service credit for that pay period. So if it's that one pay period that you need to be eligible to retire, you have to retire at the end of that pay period to be eligible to get service credit for that pay period. So any middle of biweekly retirements will not give you service credit. If you're trying to hit 25 years and it's that one pay period, just make sure that you finish out that whole pay period. And that could be on terminal leave, any way you want to do it. And we'll talk about what terminal leave is, but any way you want to do it, you just want to make sure that you retire at the end of a pay period to receive that service credit. Now you can retire in the middle of a pay period. There's nothing wrong with that. Just remember that you're not going to receive retirement service credit for that. And then your final average monthly compensation. So non-Pepper members, which is our legacy, which is our tier 1 and tier 2 members, we're going to look at your highest consecutive 12 months of compensation. That's going to be your base salary and then any pensionable special pays. And then for Pepper members, it's going to be your highest consecutive 36 months of base pay and any pensionable special pays. And so if you have a question about what special pays are, you can go onto our website and we do have a list. It'll be the pay code tracker. And there's a list on there and it's going to tell you, you can look on your pay stub. It's going to tell you, the special pays you have besides your base pay. And you can go on there and you can see which ones are pensionable. It's going to say yes, or it's going to say no. And it's going to tell you if they're pensionable or not. And so that's how you know that special pay is going to be included when you go to retire. Yes. Longevity is pensionable. You're welcome. Yes. Overtime is not pensionable. Yeah. Thank you. That long thing. All right, I know this is really small. I promise the next slide is going to float up just a little bit. So on our website, in our member handbook, the last few pages, you're going to find something that looks like this. And at the top, it's going to have pretty much your age. So it's going to start with age 50 for safety members. It starts a little bit lower. I think it starts at 45. It might even start at 40. And then down the side, it's going to have years of service. And so what this is doing is it's showing you your percentage at what age you retire with how many years of service, how many years of service you have. It's going to show you the percentage of your salary that you're going to receive. So let me show you on the next slide. It's a little bit bigger. So here, somebody who's age 50, this is just for tier 1 members. Keep in mind, if you're tier 2, yours is unfortunately going to be a lot lower. This is just tier 1 members, general tier 1 members. So age 50 with 10 years of service, you're going to get 20% of your salary, of your highest 12 months of salary. If you go down again, 11 years with 51 with 11 years, you're going to get 23.10% of your salary, or 0.1. And if you keep going down, next one is 26.4, and then you can keep going, and you can see that it increases. The older you get and the more years you have, it's going to increase. So when someone talks about 3% at 60, I know that everybody talks about that 3% at 60. What that means is once you hit age 60 for general tier 1 member, once you hit age 60, every year you have is an additional 3%. So with 10 years at age 60, you're going to get 30% of your salary. And then every year after that, you get an additional 3%. So that's what that means when they say 3% at 60. So keep that in mind. Again, this is on our website at back of the handbook. You'll be able to find this. So when you're looking, you can find your age, find your years of service, and you can get an idea of the percentage of your salary that you're going to receive when you go to retire. Any questions on this? Okay, let's talk about retirement benefit options. Sorry, let me get a drink really quick. So we have 5 different options that you're going to be able to choose from when you go to retire. When you go to fill out your retirement application, you're going to see 5 choices. Now, if you are married, you only have 2 choices, and we'll talk about those. So let's get into it and I'll explain why. The unmodified option. So if you are married and anybody else, so pretty much anybody can choose the unmodified option, even if you're married. The unmodified option is going to be the highest monthly benefit available to you. So this is going to be the highest benefit you can receive pay from. And it's going to leave a 60% continuance to a spouse, a registered domestic partner, or a minor child if you were to pass away while that child is still a minor. So they must be, so your spouse or domestic partner must be named as your primary beneficiary. Unfortunately, California is a community property state. So what's yours is also theirs. That means your retirement. So you have to be married or registered for 1 year prior to your retirement for them to be eligible to receive that continuance if you were to pass away. And there's no age restriction on if you marry someone who's 24 years old, they're going to get that continuance. If you marry and register after retirement, that you must be married or be a partner for 2 years, and your spouse must be, or your partner must be a minimum age 55 or older when you pass away. So again, if you marry before, you have to be married for at least 1 year, and they can be any age, and they'll get a continuance when you pass away. After, it has to be 2 years that you guys have to be married, and they have to be at least 55 or older for them to receive a continuance. For that minor child, they have to be a minor child. They have to be younger than 18 when you were to pass away. So just keep that in mind. Unfortunately, hopefully that doesn't happen. They would then continue to receive a continuance until they were 18, or I believe it's 22 and in school full time. Go ahead, Dominic. Does somebody have a question?
Is it for a lifetime, or is there any option for that?
There is an option. So if you're unmarried, there is an option that you can leave a continuance to a child or to multiple children, and we'll go over that. You're welcome. So any questions on the unmodified option? Yes.
What if your spouse leaves his wife?
So that's going to be a legal question. So you'd have to contact our legal department. And we do have back at the back table, we have brochures and stuff. So if you stop by like on break or after, we'll give you a brochure and you can talk to them about that. Okay. Okay, we can talk about option one. Now, option one is only available if you are not married. Option one is a rare choice that people make. And the reason for that is there is no continuance to anybody. And it is a slightly reduced monthly benefit that you would receive. With this option, this is the only option where you can name your estate. All the other options, you have to actually name a person. With this option, you can name your estate, but there is no continuance. And how this option works is most of the time, the contributions that you guys pay into KCERA, we use those contributions first to pay your benefit. And then after those run out, obviously the plan continues to pay your benefit. With this option, it actually it reduces what we use with your contribution. So it uses that amount at a slower rate. And then it kind of takes the plan's contributions so that your contributions are expanded longer. So let's say normally we use your contributions within 5 years. With this plan, maybe we use your contributions within 8 years of your retirement. So that if something were to happen to you, any contributions that are left in your balance are then paid to, if you name somebody, or they're paid to your estate, is how this one works. Again, the benefit is reduced. There is no continuance. And if those contributions do run out before you do pass away, then nothing is paid out to anybody, and you just took a reduced benefit for no reason. So it is rare. Some people do take this option, but it is rare that anybody does. Option two. Option two is another one, or is the last one that married members can take. So unmodified and option two are the two options that married members can elect. Everybody else can also elect option two. This one is going to lower your monthly benefit. And the benefit is going to be based on the age of your beneficiary. So with this one, you can name anybody as your beneficiary. Unless you're married, you have to name your spouse. So this one, you could name a child. If you have one child, you can name your child. And the benefit is going to be up to 100% to the beneficiary. So unmodified is 60%. This one is going to be 100%. But so for your spouse, most of the time it is 100% continuance to your spouse. If you are naming a child, then a lot of times it's up to 100% just because it's going to go off of your child's date of birth. So a lot of times, obviously, your children are a lot younger. So that benefit, because it's going to have to go for their lifetime as well once you pass away. So that benefit is not going to be 100% continuance. It's probably just going to be a little bit lower because they have to factor all of that in. So this is an option where you can name anybody, or you can name a spouse, which would receive 100% continuance, but it does reduce your monthly benefit that you're going to receive. Yes.
And that could be an adult child.
Yes, absolutely. It does not have to be a minor child. It can be an adult child. And again, with an adult child, that, that age might not be as wide of a gap. And so, yeah, your benefit might not be as low. Absolutely. You can name an adult child for this continuance. Just know that once with option 2, you are locked in. I see your hand, just one moment. Okay. You're locked in with your beneficiary with this option. You cannot change your beneficiary with this option. With the unmodified option, you can change your beneficiary if something were to happen. So just keep that in mind. The unmodified option and option 1, you can change your beneficiaries at any time. Option 2, you are not eligible to do that. Yes. I'll tell you about that option. Yes, there is one, and we'll get to it, okay? Not for this one. That's going to be option 4, and we'll talk about it. So this one, option 2, is just one person. Did you have another question? Okay. So yes, just keep in mind that you cannot change your beneficiary with this one. So if they were to pass away before you, there would be no continuance to anybody, and you're locked in with them. Any unused contributions will not be returned to you with this one. So let's say that you pass away and your beneficiary passes away. If there are contributions left in your balance, they just kind of get absorbed. Well, they do. They get absorbed with the plan. So with this option, you would not get return contributions. Yes.
Explain a bit about, say that you name someone at what do you require them to show?
So we don't necessarily require them to show, but we would think it would be maybe like a family member or a close friend, somebody who would pretty much need you to live for them to survive. So you can't name your mailman, the guy down the street that you barely know. I mean, it's somebody that you know, a close family friend, something like that is what we mean by that. Okay, option 3. So option 3 is going to be for unmarried. So if you are unmarried, you're able to choose option 3. Option 3 is similar to option 2. You can name one person, but with this option, it's a 50% continuance. So option 2 was 100%. This one is a 50% continuance to your beneficiary. And again, it is a lower benefit to you, but there's a 50% continuance to your beneficiary, and you can name whoever, again, you would like. Any questions on this one? Okay, option 4. Option 4 is the one where you can name multiple people. Again, this is for somebody who is unmarried. Option 4, you are allowed to name pretty much as many beneficiaries as you would like. It is going to lower your benefit, of course, because it does go off of the age of the youngest beneficiary. So again, it would be up to 100% continuance divided by the beneficiaries that you have. But again, it's going to go by the youngest one that you have named. You cannot change your beneficiaries for any reason. So once you are locked in with however many you choose, let's say there's 4 of them, you're locked in with those 4 and you cannot change them. So if one passes away before you do, unfortunately, that money then does not get dispersed to the other 3 that are still named. It just, that money is no longer available, and the 3 still just get what they would have gotten if all 4 were still alive. So just keep that in mind, that it doesn't then get redispersed to whoever is still living. And then again, your unused contributions do not get paid out to you if there were any, if everybody were to pass away. Any questions on this one? Yes.
Is it allowed to, is it okay to name a secondary beneficiary?
Yes, so we do always recommend that you name a secondary beneficiary just in case something were to happen to you and your primary. So there wouldn't be a continuance to your secondary, but there is that death benefit that we will talk about a little bit later. There is that death benefit that will be paid out to them, and potentially any retro pay or potentially any contributions left over that would then be paid out to them. So yes, we always recommend that you at least name one person as a secondary. We also have another option. So this is an enhancement. So you will be able to choose between unmodified through option 4. But then this will be what I guess kind of an enhancement. It's called the temporary annuity option. So what this does is it kind of provides like a leveling of your income before you can apply for your Social Security and start receiving your Social Security at age 62. Early Social Security at age 62. So what we would do is, let's say you're retiring at age 50 and your retirement benefit from KCERA is not quite enough to get you by right now. What you can do, or even if it is and you still want to do this, what you can do is you would get an estimate from Social Security, what Social Security is going to pay you at age 62. KCERA is going to loan you a percentage of that. So for somebody who is 50 years old, it's probably about 30% of that. So we're going to loan you 30% of that estimate that they're giving you. We're going to loan you 30% of that. And then at age 62, KCERA is going to reduce your benefit by the full amount, the 100% amount that Social Security is going to pay you at age 62. And then you're going to turn around and you're going to go and apply for Social Security and you're going to receive that 100%. So you pretty much, you don't lose out on money because you're going and you're getting Social Security and you're getting the money from Social Security. I don't like this benefit, if I'm honest. I understand some people need it, but keep in mind that we do reduce your benefit forever by that full 100%. So even after you've paid us back all the money that we fronted you, we continue to take that money away from you. Yes. So it's going to be the estimate that you provided to us. So you could potentially receive more at age 62 from Social Security, but we're only going to use what you provided us when you retired. Correct. We're still going to take what you provided to us. Yeah.
If you guys choose not to sign up for Social Security at that time, and when you hit 62, it will reduce. Because we keep track and start building your Social Security.
So what Crystal was saying is, even if you don't elect to take Social Security at age 62, we're still going to reduce it at age 62 if you take this option. You do not have to take this option. If you do not take this option, we will not reduce your benefit. You will continue to receive the same benefit from KCERA, and you'll receive your COLAs and you'll receive everything. And then you can go and apply for Social Security and receive your whole Social Security. And then you're getting more money and it's even better. So this is an option. We provide this option to everybody. It is there for you. We counsel on it, but you do not have to take this option. And so again, when you come in or when you submit your application, it is on there to mark yes or no. You can call us. We can give you more information on it. If you are interested in it, we can talk about it, but just know that we will then reduce your benefit.
Fortunately, the only thing that I ever tell people is, in the event that if someone unfortunately is terminally ill, and they're ending up retiring before they were intending to, but they're eligible to retire. That is a time that I do kind of talk it over with members, because if they don't reach age 62, there's no stopping the benefit because we passed away. And if there's a continuance to a spouse or a beneficiary, that they're not held responsible for the money that we had come to do with the PTO.
Sorry, I'm going to repeat that because we are live streaming. And so I want everybody on the live stream to be able to hear that. So, if let's say, you know you're terminally ill, you can take this option and maybe you don't make it to 62. You can, receive that money now, and then it does not affect the survivorship benefit to your survivor. So we're not going to reduce their benefit. That benefit stays the same for them. So potentially that could be a benefit for somebody who knows, that maybe they're not going to make it to age 62, so that they get that additional money now. That is an option for them. Again, it doesn't affect your Social Security. Just keep in mind that we don't talk to Social Security. It doesn't affect your Social Security. You're going to receive your Social Security regardless what we do with your KCERA pension. It's just us, reducing your KCERA pension or fronting you that money right now. I say loaning because really it is a loan, and then we get our money back and more. So just keep that in mind. Yes. Like through health, but like through county health benefits, or through like like through Social Security. Through the county. So the county, that won't affect anything with the county. The temporary annuity option, that won't affect anything with the county. That's just through KCERA. All right, let's talk about that death benefit that you will not receive, but your beneficiary will. Yeah. So so this is for retired members only. So retired members, your beneficiary will receive a one-time $5,000 death benefit to your named beneficiary. Now, keep in mind, you can name somebody different than you have named as your primary beneficiary. So if you are married, you have your spouse as your primary beneficiary, you can name someone else for this $5,000 death benefit. So you can name your children, you can split it between your children. You can do however you would like, or you can leave it to your spouse, however you would like to do, but you do not have to name your spouse for this $5,000 death benefit. Will they be bad? Probably. So just keep that in mind, that you can name whoever you would like pretty much for that. Keep in mind also that if you do have reciprocity, the death benefit is going to be paid to whoever the last agency is. So if you leave Kern County and go and work for another agency, and that's the last system that you retire from, that's who's going to pay your death benefit. And everybody has a different amount. Every agency has a different amount. KCERA has 5,000. PERS might have 3,000. CalPERS might have 3,000. So just keep that in mind, that the benefit might be a different amount. So if you leave here, get reciprocity to CalPERS, they're going to pay that death benefit to your beneficiary, and it is going to be potentially a different amount. But as long as you retire from us and we're your last system, we are going to pay that death benefit to your members or to your beneficiaries. And then a continuance is dependent upon the option that you elect, and then who your beneficiary is. Of course, if it's a spouse, then there is a continuance to your spouse, and we will contact them or they contact us, and we will make sure that they're taken care of when you do pass away. Any questions on that? Okay, let's talk about estimate review. So hopefully everybody has their member portal. And if they don't, they're going to get one after they leave here. They're going to go back to their desk and they're going to start registering for the portal, because it's amazing and you can do so much on it. And that's exactly what all of you are going to do. So in the member portal, you are able to run your own retirement estimates, and you can run as many as you like. and you can put every day that you would like. And this is what it's going to look like. So for somebody who is married, it's going to show you the two options. It's going to show the unmodified option. It's going to show you the option 2 because you're married. So that first column there where it says benefit amount, that's going to be the amount that you're paid. That's going to be the gross amount that you're paid. So that would be your benefit, your monthly benefit. And then the death benefit amount, that's going to be that continuance to your spouse. So as you can see with the unmodified, that's that 60% continuance. And then with the option 2, that's that 100% continuance. This is with a spouse. If you have a child named or somebody else named, you will see more options. And then it'll show that continuance that potentially would go to them. And it is going to be different amounts, because it's going to go off of their date of birth. If you are wanting to name a child and it's not, when you run your estimates, it's not showing up all of the options that you want to see, give us a call. It might just be that it's not set up correctly in our system. We might just need to click a button and change that, and then you'd be able to run it and see all of those options for you. Like I said, you can run and save as many options, as many estimates as you would like. You can run one now, you can run one next month and see what the change is. Keep in mind, so every time you receive a raise, maybe you hit another year of service, you're going to see that increase happen. So most of us received a raise in July. So 1 year from July, if you run another estimate, so you ran one in July, and a year from July, you run another estimate, potentially that one's going to be higher because now we have that full year of service. So the estimate does not project what your salary is going to be. It just uses what we have in the system right now. So keep that in mind, that whatever we have in the system right now is what it's going to use as your salary. So if you're waiting a year for that recent increase that we just got, just know that you'll want to run it pretty much a year from now to see that full benefit that you're going to receive. But it will take your years of service. So if you put a future date, it will increase your years of service and give you that, but it's just going to use your current salary right now. Yes.
So I'm reading under the unmodified benefit option there. It mentions the spouse on your death, they have to be 55 or older. So you mentioned earlier, you can marry a 24-year-old or something. How does that affect that?
So it will not. So the 55 or older is just if it's after you retire and you get married. So if it's somebody, if you guys are married a year before you retire, she's getting that money. All right, let's talk about the not fun stuff. Divorce and your retirement. Like I said, California is a community property state, and that means that they get your retirement. So if you have been divorced or have terminated a registered domestic partnership during your employment, we just want to know about the ones during your employment. If it happened before, we don't care. I mean, we care, we're sorry, but we don't care. It's just the ones during your employment that we care about. So if you had a divorce, or you might be going through a divorce right now, or you're thinking about going through a divorce, make sure that you let us know, that you submit. We need a full copy. We need a copy of your full judgment, because your judgment has to talk about your KCERA benefit in your judgment. And it has to say either that you get your full retirement or that your spouse gets some of your retirement, unfortunately. So we have to make sure the wording is correct. We have to make sure that all of what we need is in that judgment. So if it's already happened, if your divorce has already happened, please get that judgment to us right away so that our legal department can review it. Because if it's not correct, then you might have to go back to court. And if you have to go back to court and you're retiring next month, we can't start paying you until your judgment and your divorce is cleared and complete. So just keep that in mind. If you guys have a divorce, I cannot say this enough times, please get that cleared up now with us, because we unfortunately have a lot of people who we can't pay because their divorce isn't cleared and now they've been retired, so not receiving pay. Or if you're currently going through a divorce, our legal staff cannot give legal advice, but we can help you, or we can kind of guide you on what your divorce doc should say, or the wording that should be in there. We can give you examples and stuff like that of the wording that should be in there, so that when that judgment is complete and signed off, your retirement's good and you don't have to worry about it. You can submit it to us and your retirement is cleared up when you go to retire. So just keep that in mind. If you have 3 or 4 divorces, and I say that because it happens, I understand. Please get those all cleared up before you retire, because we do not like to call you and tell you that we can't pay you. And don't think that you can hide them, because we find them. We are really, 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 really good at finding them. Yes. No, those, you don't have to worry about those. If it was before your employment, you're good. He doesn't get anything. Also, keep in mind, if you divorce after your retirement, that if anything is in your divorce judgment about your retirement, you want to submit that to us as well. Or if you're going through a divorce after your retirement, contact us. We're more than happy to try and help you make sure that your retirement is in your divorce docs, so that they can't come after you afterwards to get your retirement. So we do have brochures and pamphlets back there with all of the legal information. So it is our legal department. Their email address is legal@kcera.org. You are more than welcome to email them with any divorce questions, any submitting your documentation to them, anything like that, that pertains to your retirement. They'll be able to help you or kind of guide you on how that is. Again, they can't give legal advice. They can't tell you how to divorce, how to get a divorce, but they can kind of help you in that sense. And again, we have brochures back there that you guys can grab that will be able to help. And again, the websites are the email addresses on there. There might be additional information on our website as well that you can go to.
So in regards to divorce, you want to talk to them about if they choose any of the options other than unmodified, that they're stuck with that beneficiary. So if you divorce after your retirement, you are locked in with giving your money to your divorced spouse. So we've gotten phone calls from people saying, well, I don't want them to have my money. I want to choose the beneficiary. And unfortunately, that's why we call for the time of your final signing, like, this is it. I know, like, they're all love and they're all happy now, but you never know what, that's what happens. If that person will be locked in, there is no legal judge that could award anything else.
So what Crystal was saying is, if you choose any of the other options besides the unmodified option, just know that even if you get a divorce, your spouse, well, it would be option 2. If you choose option 2 and then you guys divorce after you retire, your ex-spouse is still going to get that 100% continuance. Even though you've divorced, you're stuck. They get your money, unfortunately.
So if she asks which option you chose, you might be concerned.
Yeah.
Option 2, you might be hearing from an attorney.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And just know that when you do choose, if you do choose option 2 or any of the other options and you're naming somebody, we will question you on it, but please know that we're not questioning you just because we want you to pick another option or just because we're trying to talk you out of it. We talk to a lot of people and we know what happens. They call us 6 months later and now their girlfriend has left them and she gets 100% of their retirement. So just keep that in mind that we will kind of confirm that that's what you want to do, even if it is your spouse. We just confirm, nothing against them. We just want to make sure that you guys understand what that means. Okay, so what should you do approximately 6 months before your estimated retirement date? You should get your ducks in a row. My boss always tells me she has chickens. Which is fine because she's not allowed to retire anytime soon. So you'll want to go ahead and you'll want to get on there and run estimates on your portal, like I said, and kind of figure out what day you want to, what day you're looking at retiring. And again, you can always give us a call or email us and we can help you if you're unsure of if I should go this day or that day. We can kind of give you some guidance on, well, if you waited, 2 more weeks, it's going to benefit you this way. So you're always more than welcome to contact us to confirm your service credit, any questions about your options, the TAO, service purchases. Keep in mind that if you are currently doing a service purchase or if you're thinking about doing a service purchase, that it has to be completed before you retire. So you have to get that paid off before your effective retirement date. So you just want to keep that in mind and get that paid off as soon as possible. You'll want to make sure that you have an idea of what you want to do with your accrual balances. So for sick leave hours, they're paid off of a percentage based on your years of continuous service with the county. So not with KCERA, the county's continuous service years. So depending on what the county has, they're going to give you a percentage based off the years of service that you have with them. So you can roll that over into like deferred comp. I believe you can roll that over. You can get it paid out or you can use it. I did not say that, but you can use it. So you can, of course, refer to your MOU and then speak to your HR department if you're unsure of what that percentage is. And then, of course, what you want to do with those sick leave hours. For your vacation and your comp time, that's paid out 100% to you. So again, you can roll that into deferred comp, or you can get it paid out on your final check. If you decide to get it paid out, just know that they do tax you. And it's approximately between 20 and 22% that they tax you. 40 and 42%. Sorry. Sorry. It's even higher. I was wrong. So 40 and 42% is roughly what they're going to tax you if you get paid out. So there are other options though. Obviously rolling it over is tax deferred. So then you roll it over into deferred comp, or if you have something else, and then you're able to then withdraw that money at a regular tax rate, and not have to be subject to that 40 or 42%. Or you can do terminal vacation. Terminal vacation, what that is pretty much you're running out your vacation time at a regular rate. You're pretty much just on vacation. So you're running out your accruals. You're receiving a paycheck every 2 weeks from the county. You're paying your health insurance the same. You're receiving retirement service credit just like you normally would. And then once your accruals run out, or once your retirement date comes, then you retire. You don't have to go back to work. You pretty much just run out those accruals. You pay your regular taxes on that, and then you retire. A lot of people do that. Keep in mind that KCERA is not the ones that determine if you can do terminal vacation. That's going to be your department. So you'd want to talk to your department about doing terminal vacation. If you have a lot of vacation time, you'll want to talk to them. Let's see, we'll talk about it here. Yeah. So you do not have to return to work. So you'll want to talk to them depending on how much vacation time you have left. They're going to be the ones that'll calculate when you can start terminal vacation. So we can't even do the calculation for you. Just keep in mind that because you continue to accrue vacation time as you're on terminal vacation every pay period. So they will be able to calculate. So what I normally tell members is go in with a retirement date, contact your payroll clerk and tell them, I would like to retire on X date. When can I start terminal vacation? And so they'll be able to calculate kind of backwards. Okay, you can start terminal vacation on this date. And then that'll help them. And you can kind of do your own calculation. You guys can kind of, figure it out, but they'll be able to kind of determine that for you and help you decide when you can actually start that terminal vacation.
What an easy tip is using tracks, so you can fill out your time cards in advance, and it'll calculate, you're gonna accrue your time as you're using your vacation, just like normal, so I think a lot of departments also just have staff do that themselves and just go in the time cards and do it as far out as you can, and then you can see where.
So Crystal was saying is you can go into tracks and kind of do it yourself through tracks. You can put in your time and it'll calculate your vacation time moving forward. Yes.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, the main benefit is you can stop working earlier than your retirement date.
Correct. You can stop working early and you still get paid and you still get retirement contribution. I mean, you still pay retirement contributions. You're still getting retirement service credit, and then you just retire. You never go back. Right? You go on vacation and you never come back. You have your cup with your little umbrella and that's it. Yeah, that's it. So just keep in mind that of course, you will want to talk to your department about that and make sure that they approve that. And they will help you calculate that and figure out how all of that works. Yes, go ahead. You'll have to talk to your department, but I do believe that they do allow it. Yes. Yes, sorry. Just vacation time and potentially comp time. You'd have to ask your department about comp time. I have heard that people are allowed to use comp time, but vacation time for sure, not sick leave. Sick leave, you have to get paid out. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Or flip it into the deferred comp.
Or you can, yes, or you can have it rolled over into deferred comp, and that is tax-free until you start having it come out. Yes.
You retire out of state, negotiating tax, and still tax that 42%.
That would be a question for the auditor controller's office. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yes. Dominic might know that question.
Lily on from the, for example, the saying later this morning, she'll handle all the questions regarding payouts and tax deferrals.
Thank you. I do know that it is increased the closer you get to retirement, even if you are like maxed out. I think there is an increase on deferred comp because you're close to retirement, but she'll talk about that. All right, now we're getting really close. We're approximately 6 to 8 weeks before your retirement date. So what you'll want to do, either when you start terminal vacation or about 4 months before you start, before your effective retirement date, you will want to submit a retirement application to our office. You want to make sure that you submit it to our office before your effective retirement date. So again, once you start terminal vacation, you can submit that packet at any time. The soonest we can take that packet, if you are not doing terminal vacation, is 4 months before your effective retirement date. We cannot take it any sooner than 4 months. So this is going to be for a service retirement. It's going to have a beneficiary form in there that you are going to have to fill out. So even if you just filled one out recently to update your beneficiary, you will have to fill out a new one. Just keep that in mind that we do need the packet complete whole. It is going to have an address direct deposit change form with it. We do require a voided check or a form from your bank with your banking information. We are not connected with the county to where we can just get that information from the county. You're going to have to, we pretty much set up a whole new direct deposit for you within KCERA. So we do need a voided check or something with your name on it and your banking information so that we can get that direct deposit set up for you. And then your pension is subject to federal and state taxes. Now, if you move out of the state of California, it is just federal taxes at that time. We do not take any other state taxes. Yep. So you'll just do an updated form, you'll update your address, and then we will pretty much at that point stop taking state taxes. Yes.
Delay on the last day of your retirement, when you get your first check, go to that.
Absolutely. So yes, there is. So depending on when you retire, or let's look at it, depending on when you receive your final check from the county. So let's say you receive your final check from the county at the end of December. We're not going to be able to get you on payroll until January. So it's determined by when you receive your final check from the county. So if you receive your final check from the county, let's say the beginning, like the first week of December, then more than likely we can get you on December payroll, as long as you retired in November. So that is how we do it. So it all depends. Again, you can call us and we can kind of tell you, okay, well, if you retire on this day, then this is the month that you're going to be going into pay. We pay the last business day of every month, and it's once a month. So it is a change from every 2 weeks. It's once a month, always the last business day of every month. So yes, there can be a delay. Go ahead.
So I've heard that based on that, theoretically, you might not get paid the end of February. And you could pay January 10th. But it could be as much as 8 weeks.
It can. It all depends on where it lands. I mean, where your check lands. It can, absolutely. I always recommend to people to at least have savings up for 3 months. We do everything we can to get you in pay as soon as possible. What I should say hinders us is we have to wait for your final check to upload into our system. We can't do anything until that final check from the county uploads into our system. And so we try to get that uploaded into our system as soon as possible. But we also have deadlines each month that we have to meet so that we can get everybody paid. So we try to work and we try to do as much as we can to get everybody in pay as soon as possible, because we understand. I mean, especially right now, who can go without a paycheck? We completely understand. So we do try to get you in pay as soon as possible. But yes, I tell people try to save up at least 3 months. But of course we try to get you paid way sooner than 3 months. Yes.
So in that scenario, if your last pay was in December, you get us in the system in January, we don't receive a check till the end of February. Are you paying us all the way back to?
Absolutely.
So at least we
Absolutely.
get the full coverage.
Absolutely. We pay you from the date of your retirement date and forward until we get you in pay. You are absolutely going to receive everything that is yours. You will absolutely receive that. We do. So that first month that we get you in pay, you will receive 2 deposits that month. The first one is going to be that retro pay from when we couldn't get you in pay until that month. And then that last payment is going to be for that month we actually put you in pay. And then moving forward, it will be once a month. So again, for the retirement packet, please just make sure that you guys get it into us. If you do not get it into us before your effective retirement date, we cannot backdate your retirement application. So if you get it to us the day after your effective retirement date, unfortunately, it is late. We cannot backdate it to the day before. And now you have actually not retired, you've actually terminated, and we have to contact your department to tell them that you have not retired, that you have terminated, and that changes everything. So it is very important that you make sure that you get your application into us 4 months or when you start terminal vacation. And if you have reciprocity, make sure that you get that application into that other agency as well. And they might have other guidelines or restrictions, so please make sure that you contact them and get those restrictions and guidelines from them.
Sure, 4 months before you retire, you submit your application.
Yes.
At least 4 months, or can it be 6 months or?
Nope, it has to be 4 months. So the earliest we can take it is 4 months from your effective retirement date.
So, but on here it says 6 to 8 weeks.
So that's, yes, so you just want to make sure that you get it into us. We're saying 6 to 8 weeks before. We just want to make sure that you're doing this. This is what you're doing, but you can submit it for 4 months before.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, you can submit it the week before. We'll probably be calling you like, hey, you need to come get your application in, because we do try to track you guys down. We do try to monitor and track you guys down and just make sure that you get them in. But sometimes, you know, we can't track all of you guys. And so the sooner you get it in, the better it is. Yeah.
About military time, for those, who want to buy back your military time, does that add on? Like, for example, I spent 5 years in the Navy, so would that add 5 years onto my current county time?
So it wouldn't add it onto your county time, but when you go to retire with KCERA, if you did purchase that time, it would, sorry, so she's asking if she bought her military time, what it would do. So it wouldn't add on to your county time, but what it would do is it would add on to your benefit. So when we go to pay you, we would calculate your years of service using that extra 5 years or whatever you had.
Getting more money.
Correct. Correct.
I actually calculated how much you could buy it, and it's not cheap.
No, it's not.
So I'm trying to weigh-
Outweigh the pros and cons. And you can always give us a call and talk to one of the analysts that does the purchases. And they can kind of help you try to outweigh the pros and cons and see if it really is a benefit for you to add those 5 years on or not. You're welcome.
You can also buy a portion. But for PPS, it's the only service purchase that you can buy, say you only want to buy a year. You can only afford a year.
So what Crystal said is with prior public service time, you don't have to buy all of it. You can buy a year or whatever you can afford. So if you have 5 years, but you can only afford a year, you are able to do that. That is the only purchase that you can do that with, is the prior public service. So when you're submitting your application, your retirement application, it is online. So you can go onto our KCERA.org website and you can fill it out online. And you can now submit it through email to us. Before we had to have the original in our office. You can now securely, you have to send it securely, but you can now email it to us instead of having to drop it off or mail it in. So that is an option that you can do now. If you would like to come in and see our faces, you can absolutely come in and see us. You can make an appointment and we will gladly go over any questions that you have, and you can submit your application at that time as well. Yes. No, but I would recommend giving us a call just to make sure that we have them. And we can check online. They should be in your file. We can easily find those. But no, if you've already done it, more than likely we have them. We have everything we need and it should be fine. But I would double check just to make sure if it's been a while. So when you do submit your application, we need a copy of your current driver's license, just a copy of your marriage license, or your state registration for your domestic partnership, just a copy. And then also, if you are divorced, we want a copy of those divorce docs, but we want a copy of those divorce docs before you submit your application, not during. So after you submit your application, we will contact you and let you know that we received your application, unless you come in and meet with us. And we're going to give you a timeline. And that timeline is going to tell you when your final day on payroll, on county payroll is, when your first day of retirement is, date of your final employment paycheck, when the month that you're going on county, on retiree payroll. So this is what she was talking about when it talks about, how many weeks you're going to go or how many months you're going to go. This timeline is going to tell you when we are going to schedule you to get on county payroll or on retiree payroll. So this timeline is very important because it's going to tell you when you should expect to hear from us and when you're going to receive your first deposit. It'll also have any missing documentation that we may need from you. If you forgot your driver's license with it, or you forgot your marriage license or anything like that, we are going to go ahead and let you know that you're missing that. You need to send that to us. And then your REOKC packet will be mailed to you unless you come into the office. We will probably hand it to you at that point as well. So any questions about the timeline? All right, who's been counting down? Anybody been counting down? Yeah. They'd have to give me a bigger office if I did this. So after you retire, well, actually, let's go back. Before you retire, make sure you want to let your department know your retirement date, because they will have to create a CES, pretty much saying that you're retiring. If they do not create the CES, or if you do not tell them that you're retiring, they do not create the CES, it does not upload into our system. That's a problem. And then you'll have to wait longer. So we do not contact your department to tell them that you've submitted an application. You guys have to do that. That is on you to let them know that you've submitted your application and what your retirement date is. You'll also want to contact health benefits if you're going to go, if you're going to continue with your county health benefits. They will be here later, actually after me, after our break, they'll be here talking about health benefits, but you will also want to contact them if you're going to continue with your health benefits. And then courts employees, you'll want to contact your courts, HR, of course. And then you'll want to contact deferred comp if you have deferred comp. And then if you have any like Strata, American Fidelity, the union coming out of your paycheck, those do not carry over to KCERA. So you'll want to contact them and let them know if you have anything coming out of your checks right now. I know Strata can come out of your KCERA check, so you just need to have it transferred over. So you can set that up with them. I'm not sure about American Fidelity, but I think so. And then I think you can continue with the union as well if you would like. And then of course, reciprocity, you'll want to contact them. Please keep these things in mind. We cannot provide a verification of income prior to you going on to retiree payroll. So keep in mind that if you retire, you sell your house, and then you're trying to go and buy a new house, but we haven't got you in pay, we cannot provide you income verification until we actually pay you. You're going to buy a car. Please just wait until we get you in pay, and then we can provide all that documentation to you, because we cannot generate any of that until we actually pay you that first payment. So please keep that in mind and try not to purchase anything. You can safely rescind your retirement up to a day prior to your effective retirement date. So for some reason, if you decide it's just not the right time, you can rescind your retirement. You would want to let us know. You would, of course, want to let your department know. And if you have, health benefits set up, you'd want to kind of let everybody know that you've decided you're not retiring. We will have to have you fill out some additional paperwork and stuff like that to rescind your application. But you are able to do that before your retirement date. Cost of living increase is applied April 1st of every year. So as long as you retire on or before April 1st of that year, and there is a cost of living for that year, it will be applied to your April payment. So every year we normally announce it around February of that year, what the cost of living is going to be. That is still enough time to decide that you want to retire that year, if that's something that you want to do because of that cost of living increase. So you are eligible to retire and receive that cost of living for that year. It is a compounding COLA. So that means that it continues to increase each year that there is a COLA. So right now you have your base, your base benefit, and then each year you receive a COLA, we continue to compound that, and it increases and it continues to grow. Yes.
Without that, with the exception of terminal vacation. So terminal vacation, you can't rescind it.
No. So, sorry, thank you for pointing that out. That is correct. So if you're on terminal vacation, you're not supposed to be allowed to rescind that. I've seen it happen. So you would want to talk to your department, of course, if it's just you have to go back to work for whatever reason. But yes, if you are on terminal vacation, you are not supposed to be allowed to rescind it at that point. We're here to help. We want you to retire. We want it to be smooth. We want it to be simple. We want you to go into retirement with no stress and just enjoy. So just keep in mind though, that when you will submit your application to us before you retire, and then the month that on your timeline, we're going to tell you what month you're going into retirement, or that we're going to put you in pay. You do have to sign some final paperwork with us. So keep that in mind, that if we tell you you're going into pay in January, we will contact you and you will have to sign some final paperwork for us. We can email that to you. We can, have you come in and sign it. We do need the originals of that final paperwork back. So, you'll mail it back in if you're out of state at that point. We'll work with you and figure out how to get that back from you. But just keep that in mind. So try not to do any vacations or have any crazy excursions or do anything like that, because we do need you to sign that before we can actually start paying you. So please keep that in mind. And if anything comes up, you can always give us a call. Here's our contact information, our phone number. Of course, you can always get on your member portal and you can message us through your member portal. Our website, member services at KCERA.org is our email to our member services division. And then there's legal at KCERA.org. And then you can always come in and visit us as well. We are off of Buena Vista and Stockdale. So we're kind of out there, but we always enjoy when you guys come in and see us. So please come visit us. And then we also, in your packets, there's also a card in there, but it's also a magnet. So if you see the card in there, it's actually a magnet. So you guys can stick that on your refrigerator, stick it wherever. It has our information on there. So please don't hesitate to contact us with any questions you have or when you're actually ready to retire. So I think that's all I have. Oh, check out our YouTube channel. We do have some great videos on our YouTube channel that has some information on there. So again, you can always go on there and check those out. I think that's all it's going to do. Does anybody have any questions? All right, so we ended early, which is totally fine. So we'll go ahead and take our break. We have, if you guys have any questions, Vanessa's back there, Jessica's back there. You guys are more than welcome to ask them any retirement questions. And then we will meet back here at, is it 10:30? At 10:30, it'll be Kern County Health Benefits. Thank you, guys.
You guys. Yeah, I just want to thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Really, just like, I can't thank you. And you really are great. So thank you. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. You told me that. I would stay up here. Absolutely. Yeah, you're
It's a good place to put money for a future purchase. No, 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 you don't got it. Okay, I don't know how big they're gonna be, but it's not. So they really. By doing it in the first time, you can do it. You can pay for it.
Also like. Okay. About 2.5 years away from. So.
Okay.
you're thinking like maybe a 44%, like, what's that?
Earlier, the back, it's like money you can put in there.
Yeah.
It's not unusual to see big numbers like.
Yeah.
50 to 100.
Yeah.
Oh, we've seen bigger than this.
And like Crystal said, maybe even 2 years of that.
Yeah.
Might, and like I said, giving us a call, one of the analysts go in, okay, we only put about 2 years, it's gonna be that price, for this 2 years,
you doing?
Okay, so before we get started with our next presenter, I'm going to remind you guys that we do have the planning seminar evaluation form that we need you guys to fill out or at least turn in so that you guys can get that confirmation page when you leave. This is in your packet. If you guys don't have one, please let us know and we can get you one, but they should be in your packet. So the next presenter is going to be from Health Benefits. And then after health benefits is going to be Voya. So anybody who is currently live streaming or watching from the live stream right now that was here that left, just FYI, Voya's portion cannot be live streamed. So we're going to be cutting the live stream after health benefits. So if you wanted to see the Voya presentation, you will have to come back into the board chambers to see that presentation, just FYI, because we are not able to, unfortunately, live stream Voya's presentation. So with that information, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Andrea, and she will be presenting health benefits.
Thank you, Corey. So good morning, everyone. I'm Andrea with the Kern County Health and Wellness team. I'm really excited to be here to share the information about retiree coverage and how the program works, help you with the information that you're going to need if you decide to elect to enroll in county retiree coverage. And I also would like to just say that it's really nice and I'm happy to see some familiar faces. We're always available. Our office is located on the first floor. We're here on the east side of the building, just behind the security desk. And you're welcome to stop by anytime and our team's ready to assist. So this morning, we're going to be going through different pieces of information that relate to retiree health coverage. Everyone's different. Everyone's needs are a bit different. And this hopefully will provide you with some information you'll need to make an informed decision for what works best for you. I believe in your packets, you were given a handout with some information, and it looks a little similar to this. And this is just reference pieces that we'll be going over throughout the presentation. Okay, everybody got theirs? So we're going to start off with some important notes. Generally, to be eligible to receive or enroll in retiree coverage through the county, you have to have a minimum of 5 years of county service time, and you have to be receiving a pension from KCERA. Your active benefits do not automatically continue once you retire. So if you're interested in enrolling in retiree coverage, you want to make sure that you complete forms with our office. You'll have to decide which plan you want. Each of the plans have their own enrollment forms. And we do ask that you provide those to our office roughly 30 days before your date of retirement. Granted, you do have 30 days after your date of retirement to complete those. But just keep in mind that if you needed to perhaps pick up a prescription, use the plan for any reason, your benefits are still terminated because we don't know that you intend on enrolling. So to streamline the process, if we do that roughly 30 days before you retire, that will alleviate some of those issues for you. It's a little dark up here. So for our retirees, we do offer an open enrollment as well. It's usually about the same time we have open enrollment for our active employees. So if at any time you want to change plans, that would be the time to do that. In addition to that, we send out a mailer indicating what the new rates may be, or at least reflecting the changes that will happen. And again, if you need to make changes based on a monetary issue, you want to do that with open enrollment. Also, just a reminder about our adult children. The Affordable Care Act does not allow you to continue coverage for your adult children up to age 26. It's a little different with the retiree coverage. And for dependents between the ages of 19 and 22, they have to remain a full-time student. There's actually a certification that has to be completed. And once they turn 23, they're no longer eligible. Okay. So now we have our dental program. The retiree dental plan is with Liberty, so sometimes it gets a little confusing, but this is our third plan. The retiree dental program is an HMO, so keep in mind you do have to go to someone contracted under the HMO. This also does not provide services out of the state of California. All the contracted providers are within the state of California. For some of us, we may not have the HMO plan as an active employee. We may have a PPO plan. So you do have the opportunity to continue that temporarily up to a maximum of 18 months through COBRA. Perhaps you're in the middle of dental treatment when you retire. Therefore, you want to go ahead and keep that PPO, and you can do that through COBRA for a maximum of 18 months. I believe second to the last page, there's a sheet with the COBRA rates if you wanted to take a look at those. So just prior, or I apologize, right after you retire, you'll receive a COBRA notice in the mail. And if you decided you wanted to take the PPO dental, you would complete the COBRA notice. We also offer vision coverage for retirees, and our vision plan is still through Vision Services. Also, we refer to it quite frequently as VSP, Vision Service Plan. And it is the same coverage that you have as an active employee, even though it is a retiree plan. So for any of you that are interested in dental and vision, be sure to fill out those forms because, like I said earlier, each plan has their own enrollment form. Okay. For some of us, the county has what we call the county paid life insurance. And this particular benefit ends when you retire. However, if you are interested in any portability or continuing the policy, you'll be provided a 30-day period from your date of retirement to contact Guardian Life Insurance. They can give you a quote if you wanted to continue that. And then from that point forward, those monthly premiums will be at the retiree's expense. So if you're interested, there is a contact number of 1-800-627-4200. Okay, moving along here. Post-employment health plan. This doesn't apply to everyone. This basically is going to apply to firefighters, management, sheriff lieutenants, commanders, detention lieutenants, and probation managers. This particular program is specific to specific bargaining units. And it's where a percentage of your sick time will automatically be rolled over to this post-employment health plan. It's administered by Nationwide. And participants in this program have to seek reimbursement for any of the eligible qualified expenses. So perhaps your retiree health premium, perhaps it might be co-payment that you had for a doctor's visit, etc. But you do want to allow at least 30 days after your final paycheck to contact Nationwide, because it won't be until that time that the funds are automatically transferred to Nationwide. Okay. This next slide is regarding our stipend program. There are basically two programs in which the county may contribute towards your retiree medical premium. And one is the stipend, and you can see here on the slide that if you enrolled in medical and you were covering just yourself, the county pays $39.75 per month towards your premium for your medical coverage. If you were covering two, of course, it would be the $53.69. And this continues beyond age 65. The next program is the supplement. This particular program, if you're eligible, stops the first of the month in which you turn 65. However, it's going to vary for each person depending on your years of service and which bargaining unit you're in. So I believe in your packet, there are two sheets that you can reference that are labeled supplement. The first one should be for our general employees. And that particular benefit is fixed at the time you retire. The second one is regarding safety. So that also is fixed at the time you retire. Granted, they're based on this year's rates, and they may change for January 1st. So for example, with the general employee, the benefit amount is $882.07 if you have 25 or more years of consecutive service. You do have to qualify for this benefit. Part of eligibility is that you do have to enroll in a retiree medical coverage. You have to have worked for a minimum of 20 consecutive years. So it doesn't include any buyback for prior public service, extra help, etc. And it would not apply to special districts. You do have to go from active status to retirement status and start collecting a pension. So in other words, if you've deferred your retirement and you're going to start your pension later, that would disqualify you from receiving the supplement. You have to be at least age 50 at the time you retire, but no older than 65. And then, of course, you've had to contribute into the program. An easy way to determine, do I really participate, is to look at your pay stub. And you'll see a deduction with a dollar amount that's labeled KC supplement. Okay. Just a reminder, in 2016, the county offered employees to opt out. So if anyone opted out of the supplement program, that means you would not qualify for the supplement or the stipend, which was that smaller amount we reviewed earlier. Okay. So this is the table that's on those supplement sheets. We talked about general employees with 25 or more years of service is $882.07 per month. And then for our safety employees, it's $1,000 $10.88 per month for this year. Also in your handout, there's, I want to say the second page, a summary chart. And this is a summary of the benefits for each of the plans. One side is for under 65. The other side would be for those that are 65 and over with Medicare. Please keep in mind that if you're under age 65 and eligible for Medicare, perhaps based on a disability, you actually have the option to stay on an under 65 or move to the plans on the other side of that chart labeled 65 and over. If you receive the supplement, you would continue to receive the supplement even if you went on a Medicare plan for 65 and over, at least until age 65, and then that supplement would stop. So this again gives you a summary of the benefits as well as what the current monthly premiums are based on how many you cover. So you have the single, two-party, and family. So 3 or more would be considered family. Rates are going to be changing as of January 1st. So I believe we also included the summary chart for 2024. It's a single sheet. That way you have those rates in the event that you are retiring next year. So your monthly premiums may change each year. However, your supplement amount is fixed at the time you retire. So for some of us, especially for a safety with 25 or more years, it may cover the full cost and you don't have a premium for depending on which plan you actually choose to enroll in. And if the rates go up above the supplement, you have to pay the difference. So it's going to reiterate, it's important to review the open enrollment materials that are mailed out just prior to open enrollment. Some of us may need to or want to cover a dependent, whether it be a overage dependent between the ages of 19 and 22, or perhaps a spouse. And we may have the maximum supplement, but adding that second person can sometimes be rather costly. One thing to consider is reviewing the COBRA premiums. So COBRA is a federal law that allows you to continue the plan that you have for a maximum of 18 months. Depending on which plan you're enrolled in as an active employee, that COBRA premium may be lower than adding the spouse to your retiree coverage. So that's really just a comparison that you want to maybe review. And just prior to COBRA ending, you would be able then to enroll your spouse into the retiree plan of that you are currently enrolled in. If we have someone that is under age 65, but the spouse is over 65, that's the only time that we allow what's called a split enrollment. So if we are going to perhaps enroll and the retiree is under 65, but our spouse is over 65, not a problem. At the point that the retiree turns 65, they'll have to follow the spouse onto the same Medicare plan. Again, COBRA, though, is only going to last for a maximum of 18 months, and you would want to apply for that retiree coverage for your spouse a minimum of about 30 days before COBRA ends. Question sometimes is, well, how do we pay for our coverage? That's actually a deduction from your pension check.
Keep in mind that retirement does say to us that we're unable to collect until you get your first full retirement check. That means we're going to open up coverage as a courtesy. However, we will then collect any retro premiums and the current month on your first full pension. So sometimes that can be a little costly, but just be aware that we do have to go back and collect any retro premiums on that first full pension. Following month, it would just be the normal monthly premium from that point going forward. Sometimes in looking at our summary chart where we think, as an active employee, I'm on the classic. Don't know what I'm going to do here. On the, on the under 65 plans, there are 2 plans that also allow you to reside out of state. Those are going to be the Kern Legacy Max Choice and the Kern Legacy Classic Choice. So if you are planning on moving out of state, those are available to you. Once you turn 65, the plans available for those residing out of state would be Anthem Blue Cross Gold and Anthem Blue Cross Silver. The Kern Legacy Shared Select and the Kern Legacy Network Plus eligibility requires that you reside in Kern County. So perhaps we're going to remain in Kern County, but a couple years down the road, I may move. That is a qualifying event as long as you do it within 30 days to then move to perhaps the Kern Legacy Max Choice that allows you to reside out of state. The Shared Select, which is the first column on the under 65, keep in mind that's our high deductible plan. So you do have to meet that deductible, which I believe is $2,000 for one person, before the plan will pay. That is including prescriptions. Many times the question is, well, what's the difference between Classic and the Max Choice? And I'll start with what's the same. The Classic Choice uses the Anthem Blue Cross Network. The Max Choice uses that same network. This is a comparison if we were looking at the premiums based on the supplements and the premium rates for this year. What is different with the Max Choice is that you have a $250 deductible for one person or $500 for 2. Once you've met that deductible, you have a copayment for your primary care visits. However, there is what's called a coinsurance for specialists and hospitalizations. Sometimes we can think, boy, if I were in the hospital a while, that could add up rather quickly. And that's true. However, be reassured that there is what's called an annual out-of-pocket maximum. So on the annual out-of-pocket maximum for the Max Choice, if one person was enrolled, it's $5,000. In other words, that means that if any of your deductibles and your 20% added up to $5,000 in a year, that's the maximum you would pay. At that point for your medical, the plan would start paying at 100%. So this is just a comparison. Classic, what the premium is, we deduct the county contributions. The Max Choice, what the premiums are. We look at that annually. And even if you factored in the out-of-pocket maximum, you're still ahead. So that's a good way for you to maybe do a comparison on whatever your needs might be. Okay. So we talked a little bit about COBRA, COBRA being the federal law. It allows you to continue coverage. So for those of us that perhaps opted out of the supplement, you may want to look at COBRA and compare that to the retiree premiums. And that might be best at least for up to 18 months for you. Okay. And again, at that point, just prior to the COBRA ending, you can transition into one of the county retiree plans. So this basically would conclude our presentation. We have some contact information. Again, we're located here on the first floor. We have some really good tools available on our website, which is kerncountyhealthbenefits.com. We have a informational packet available. You would click on the retiree icon and then look for the retiree health benefits planning tools. And it's strictly an informational document. You might want to review that. It might prompt some additional questions. But mostly I'd like to just let you know that if anyone has any questions, you're welcome to contact me. Again, I'm Andrea. Our team is ready. We're excited for everyone. It's an exciting time in our life to be able to make that decision to retire, but we do know that this is a very important decision. So thank you for allowing us to attend today, KCERA, and thank you for attending. I will remain in the board chambers if anyone has any questions, or perhaps we have a couple minutes. Okay, anybody have a question? Yes. If you're still in deferred status, no. At the point that you start drawing a pension, as long as you do that within 30 days of drawing your pension, yes. So the question was, can a deferred member enroll in county retiree coverage? So as long as you, at the point within 30 days of starting to draw the pension, otherwise you would have to wait until open enrollment. Okay. We typically held in the fall. We're currently going through that right now. So it's usually mid-October to mid-November, somewhere in that range. All changes take effect for January 1st of the following year. I think we had a question here. Sure, back here. Versus enrolling in retiree coverage. Okay, good question. Question is, I have a spouse that works for the county also, and I'm going to be retiring. So what would be the best way to go about doing that? I have the supplement benefit eligible to me. However, staying on my spouse's coverage through the county is perhaps less expensive. So there is a way in which you can protect that supplement. The rule is you cannot have a gap in coverage. Fortunately, we're the same employer. So at the point that you retire, we know that you're already on your spouse's coverage through the county. So there's no gap at the point that you separate or retire. That also includes no gap when you want to come back. So you would need to apply for the county retiree coverage approximately 30 days before your spouse separates from the county. And that should protect your supplement. So the rule is you have to have other employer-sponsored health coverage to protect your supplement. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Correct. Okay, so the question is, can the premium for your retiree health coverage come from your deferred comp account? Unfortunately, the answer is no. Everything must come from your pension as a payroll deduction. Yes, ma'am.
How will their insurance impacted by legal supplement? That makes sense?
Is it a disability? And we currently have them certified as a disabled dependent. And if they're certified as a disabled dependent through our office, you can continue them on the retiree plan as long as you enroll in a county retiree plan. However, are they eligible for Medicare? Perhaps we can maybe discuss that later. But if you do have a dependent that's eligible for Medicare, sometimes it's less expensive to move to a Medicare plan, 65 and over. Keeping in mind, even though they're not 65, but if we have Medicare Part A and B, they're still eligible, and that sometimes helps keep the cost down. But we definitely can look at that after the presentation. Okay. If anyone is 65 and over with Medicare Part A, but they don't have Part B, you need to apply for Medicare Part B at least 2 months prior to your date of retirement. Yes, sir.
My question is, you move forward.
Are you talking about an increase for 2 people over 1,000 a month? For which plan? They're branded Kern Legacy. So are you talking about the classic choice? Yes, there were some increases. So each year, just correct. And that's why many retirees choose a different plan. The premiums are set by the county health benefits consultant. It's based on usage, claims at cost, and they review that for the year. Unfortunately, I can't control those premiums. The supplement, are we a general employee or safety? Safeties are adjusted off of the active premiums. So you're welcome to call me and I can look up. We just got what the new rates are going to be starting January 1st, because safeties supplement is adjusted off of the active premiums. Unfortunately, the general supplement program is fixed. At the time that the general employees were able to opt out, those do not change, but call me or come and see me and I can give you what the new supplement rates are. They're also available on our website under that retiree. For the retiree coverage, yes, I believe there's a supplement, a summary chart that I provided in the packets for next year's premiums. Okay, last question.
If I'm still working 65, do I have to apply for Medicare or can I keep my current income?
No, if you are Medicare eligible, 65 and over, you need to apply for your Medicare 2 months prior to retiring. And then if you're interested in county coverage, you would need to select one of the Medicare plans that are on that chart.
But what if you're not planning to retire?
If you're not planning to retire and you want to continue working and have active coverage through the county, I would suggest you contact Social Security to check with them what they require. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll turn it back over to Corey and I'll be in the back of the board chambers. Thank you.